Previously, on Oldie But a Goodie, Sandro is trapped in time. Zach is in the future, teleporting into historical figures' bodies. One day, they come across a fancy bit of technology.
Oh, look at this! Oh, it looks like some sort of time travel device.
Oh my god, not a time travel device. Oh look, they're turning it on. It's making big sci-fi noises that I've had to download off YouTube.
Oh, and someone dropped a plate. Oh dear.
My god, there's a plate crash. Oh, and the orphans running around.
Hello, Governor. Got any dimes?
Oh dear, the orphans hopped into the time machine.
Oh, Orphan, don't get into the time machine. Orphan, ever since that orphan killed someone, he's really been trying to get it. Oh my god, the orphan's been replaced by... Is that Valaris from Twitch?
Hello? How did I get here?
Is that orphan gone forever? I guess we'll probably have to deal with that next week. It's fine. It's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Where's the orphan now? Will they cross paths again? Find out now in the continuation of Oldie But a Goodie.
Imagine a year where Sandra and Zach tried desperately not to talk about World War II, but are now finally forced to.
What year is that, Zach?
The year is the 1940s.
That's a decade.
Well, it's close enough. It's 1940. Fuck you.
Hello, and welcome to Oldie But a Goodie. Oh my goodness, my name is Sandro. I'm always in such a mess at the start of these episodes, because yes, we're going to be reviewing The Great Dictator, we've got a guest on, it's going to be a lot of great fun, I've got to find Zach and body of some historical person, that's all coming up, that's all very soon, but I don't know if you heard it, but at the end of the last episode, actually halfway through last episode, the orphan that we've been taking with us on these adventures randomly walked into a portal, and I don't know where that orphan is. I don't know where the orphan's gone. I've been looking for the orphan all week. I'm here in I think it's America in 1940, and I'm just looking for the orphan. I'm looking everywhere. Oh my god, the orphan fell from the sky.
Where am I? Oh, when am I? Who am I? And who are my parents?
I can't answer those last two ones, orphan, but you are in the year 1940. You went to a portal. Are you okay?
Orphan? Does that mean my mummy and daddy are fucking dead? Sorry for swearing, I know I'm a child.
Oh my god.
I'm not supposed to know those words, but the lovely baker told me them in exchange for some bread. I don't know why the baker needed some bread, but I got some for him. I suppose he ran out. And so then he taught me to swear. I can say shit, fuck, cunt, and pussy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was 4 loaves of bread. You bet you don't want to know what the greengrocer taught me.
Or what did the greengrocer teach you, orphan?
Oh, I can't tell you because this is an audio medium, not a visual medium.
Oh, right, okay.
But trust me, there's some choice gestures and genitals.
Wow, wait, so orphan, have you just been living your life the past week?
I've just been wandering around shops.
Wow.
Running errands and learning about the world.
That seems really, like, we kind of ripped you out of your own time back in 1920, and I've actually never asked you this the entire time, despite traveling with you for 20 weeks. Are you okay, orphan?
Am I okay?
Are you okay?
I'm fucking cunt.
Oh, right, okay.
Blimmin' heck, I'm having the time of me life, and time seems to be me life. Back in and out of time. In time, out of time, through time.
Yep.
It's a time to be alive.
Do you want to talk about how you killed Hindenburg, or are we just going to move past that?
Hindenburg, the bloody bloater, was building a balloon, and I fucking hate balloons.
Oh, that's why you did it. Okay, fair.
Hello.
Oh.
Who's that man?
I'm Percy LeBron Spencer. Pleasure to meet you. I saw a child fall from the sky.
Oh.
What's going on here?
Yeah, why were you falling from the sky, Orphan?
Oh, I don't know. I just found myself in the other end of a portal, and it just spat me out.
Wow, it's almost like, despite you being away from me for a week and having your own adventure, when it's time to do the podcast, time puts you back where I am.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery.
Anyway, who are you, sir?
Oh, I'm Percy Spencer. I did say that.
He already said you got to keep up to date, Mr. Sandro.
It's such a boring white name, I just forgot. Percy Spencer. It's such a boring American name.
Mr. Spencer, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. I'm really interested in what you have to say.
Oh, thank you.
Would you like a loaf of bread or an apple?
You know what? I could go for a loaf of bread, actually. Thank you. That would
All
be
right,
great.
give me one back, but in exchange, you got to teach me a new swear word.
Oh, what ones do you already know?
Well, I know fuck, shit, piss, cunt, pussy, bully, bum, butt, butthole, bumhole, cunthole, vagina, vulva, labia minora,
Some of these aren't
labia
swear
majora,
words. These are just medical terms for genitals.
C-section.
Oh my god! That's not a swear word. What's the context where you were taught C-section, Orphan?
I think some people have been taking advantage of you and teaching you things that aren't swear words in exchange for bread.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, you blooming C-section.
Oh my god. You can't say that to people, Orphan. You can't say that.
Well, I just did. Now, do you want that loaf of bread or not?
It appears you know all the swear words I know, but I could teach you a thing about microwaves.
Micro who? Like a little hello?
No. Like a spectrum of light.
A what? A spectrum, like red and in the or in your rainbow, orange, green,
Yeah, I
and
feel
blue.
like this is going to go over your head.
Most things do. I'm really short. I'm a child.
Ah, I see, that's why it would be. I'm making a box that can heat things up.
Wait, so what are you going to use this box, this microwave to do?
It's pronounced microwave.
He just told you how it's pronounced, Sandra. Gotta listen if you want to get ahead in this world. You don't know what it is, but you do know how to say it. Come on, keep up.
Thank you. Well, it's gotta mass produce them, and people can put them in their houses, bit like an oven, but faster, more efficient, and heats
Faster,
things
more
up.
efficient oven. Think of all the loaves of bread you could bake in one of those.
Yeah, well, bread goes a little funny in them, but yeah, absolutely.
Great. I could learn so many fucking swear words.
Alright, you've got to... Can you please, Mr. Percy Spencer, your name suggests that you might have an empty head, but can you, can you clear your...
I don't understand that one. Could you explain that one, please?
I think that's like sort of like a swear word, but just an insult. Is empty head, so it's like meaning.
Oh my god.
Right, but why would your name suggest an empty head? I don't understand.
His name is Percy Spencer, which is kind of boring. It's just a boring name.
Oh, right. Thanks for explaining that, because that makes no blimmin' sense.
Yeah, what's going on? Why are we talking about empty heads?
Oh, the orphan's very chatty.
Why are we talking with the orphan? Wasn't he just like sort of generic earlier? Why has he suddenly gained consciousness?
Well, the orphan went into that portal last week and seems to is a lot more chatty now.
Yeah, I've learned so many new words that I haven't been recycling.
Oh yeah? What words have you learned?
Oh, I've learnt the word catastrophe. I've learnt
nice.
the word minuscule,
Oh.
minestrone.
Ooh.
I've learnt the word, that's one word by the way, minuscule, minestrone.
I'm just gonna get this gun
I've
here.
learnt the word propeller.
Let's put Ben inside this body. This is so... Oh my god.
If you want any other words that you might want to recycle for any future episodes, I can learn those as well.
How about this word? Bang!
Whoa.
I know that one. That's a swear word.
No, I'm shooting you so Ben can come inside of you, orphan.
Wow, that...
Can you rephrase that for a moment?
Yeah, that was I have to agree with the orphan here. That was some phrasing.
My head feels suddenly queasy.
Oh my god, that's a very long transformation.
Zach, Sandra, what the hell's going on?
Hi, how's it going?
Hi.
Hello, you're in the orphan again. It's 1940.
Oh my god, the historical child,
Yeah.
Yes.
We're still bringing it around.
the vaguely Dickensian boy.
Yes. He knows a lot more swear words now, which is cool.
Oh great, what swear words did he learn?
I think it was shit, cunt, fuck, pussy, C-section. I don't know.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Has time been so messed up that C-section is now a swear word in the future?
Yeah, that's like the worst one. It's the C word.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's why you say C-section, because you can't say cesarean.
Oh my god, that's
You can't say that, sir. Not on. We're gonna have to cut that bit out.
That word being the worst word is vaguely misogynistic, but we're not going to get into that. Instead, we're going to get into the Great Dictator.
The great what tater?
The Great Dick.
Oh, that's a swear word that he didn't say. Maybe we can teach him that one.
Oh yeah. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to learn any new swear words by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you know any swear words, send them.
Send them in to oldiebutagoodiepod@gmail.com.
Can you teach the orphan to say motherfucker? Because it's funny because it's an orphan, so he doesn't have one.
Oh, it's ironic.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is
Right?
fun. I'll write that down for after the episode.
Okay, write it down and then tell the orphan to say motherfucker.
Say,
And then he'll ask what it means, and it'll be really funny because you'll have to explain it.
yeah, that's very funny.
Speaking of very funny,
Speaking of very funny, Zach, it's 1940 and you bloody chose the movie The Great Dictator, our second Charlie Chaplin film on the show. First one was The Kid, now we're doing The Great Dictator. Zach, you seen this before? You aware of this movie? You know what's going on? Did you understand it?
I kind of got from context clues what was happening. Yes, Andrew.
Okay. Cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Good work, I guess.
I'm so confused. Hey, I think World War's pretty bad.
What?
Dictator's bad. Comedy good. This was pretty fun, pretty enjoyable. I liked this film. I liked the way it mocked certain dictators that are called Hitler. And
Oh my god, he said it. He said it.
yeah, he said it. Because hey, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Hitler probably wasn't a good guy.
What?
Along with all the other vegetarians.
Wow. Wow. It's gonna be one of these episodes, isn't it? Ben.
Okay.
It was Zach's first time watching this. I had seen this before. I think there's parts of it that I've definitely seen before, but I think I was a kid, so I might have tuned out. Anyway, I thought it was pretty good. What did you think, Ben?
I'd seen this before. I can't remember when, probably, 10, 15 years ago or something. Mm-hmm. It was, I mean, it's a classic. There's like pretty much every Chaplin film, it's a classic. I think this time round I didn't find it as impactful or as affecting as I did the first time round when I watched it when I was like, I think I gave it 5 stars at the time. I mean, it's still, it's a wonderful film and it plays with the light and the dark really beautifully. But I don't know, I didn't connect with it as much on this time round. May have also just been the mood I was in, so.
I mean, potentially.
Who knows?
I don't... we are written on spoilers, but I will say that I don't think it's a 5 out of 5 movie. It's an odd one because it's a satire about Nazi Germany before the war. I don't want to say properly kicked off, but before a lot of the really bad stuff became public, I guess. Before it was like more in the public eye.
Yeah.
So it's like even Chaplin has said the film would have been very different or not made at all if he had done this after the war. So it kind of feels like it doesn't have an ending, which I was like, oh.
I mean, that kind of makes sense because it was sort of
mid-war,
timing-wise, just happening sort of at the the rise.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, it's like what's happening next. And I think even it was being produced before, like when it was being filmed, the UK still wasn't at war with Germany. So in that mind, I mean, it wasn't as atrocious, but at the same time, it's like the facts were pretty self-evident.
It's interesting to me because he's mocking Hitler before his worst crimes were known. You're like, clearly he wasn't exactly a great figure beforehand if they're already mocking him. But it's more akin to mocking Kim Jong-un than, like, Hitler because they, the horrible things. So, like, the film's pretty light on the war crimes it's making fun of,
Yeah, because at that point, it wasn't really war crimes as so much as, like, domestic crimes.
Yeah, posturating and organizing of people and other things, and obviously oppressing people.
I mean, there's a lot of, like, hate crimes in the movie by the stormtroopers, obviously, but they're like, oh, they're just off to the concentration camp. Nothing bad. It's just a prison. And you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I think there's even a random joke in there about gas as well. And I was like, fuck, that's a badly timed joke.
Yeah. And I think had he known how horrific it was, he probably would have, as you said, he either wouldn't have made it at all or would have treated those particular aspects differently. But I guess, there's a bit of naivety to it, which at the same time lends it this striking character of hope almost.
Yeah.
That infuses, it's like, this is terrible, but, we as humans can overcome this. And so it paints the whole film in a, despite dealing with such dark subject matter and such, awful people and circumstances, I think it still, there's a bit of a glow to the film because perhaps Chaplin himself hadn't realized how severe everything was that he was mocking.
No, definitely. And I mean, it's, one of the most popular films of all time. The ending is as well. The ending monologue has been cited.
The final speech has been quoted and shown a lot. There's rumors that Chaplin, that Hitler himself watched the film and like asked for a print of the film and watched it twice. But no one knows what he thought about the film.
That makes sense. I feel like you would, if a film was being made kind of about you, I feel like you'd probably want to check it out. But
yeah,
Hitler, he loved Metropolis, so I'm sure he thought this film was also good.
Yeah, great. Look, good film taste, that man.
Fucking hell.
Love to see the guy's letterboxd.
Zach, we have done one other Charlie Chaplin film on the podcast before, but it was a silent slapstick comedy.
Yes.
We've kind of skipped all of the other slapstick silent stuff that he's done and gone straight to his first sound movie. How did you find watching him talking this time, even though there are still silent sequences in this film?
Yeah, that was interesting. A lot of the time, he sort of defaults to not talking, which is sort of his character, is just like slapstick and not really talking. So he's not a particularly talkative character, but I thought he was all right.
I would say that's also, it's not so much that that's his character, but also that, as someone who grew up, so to speak, in the silent era and who was the most prolific during the silent era, it's less about being his character and more about being just what he's used to and the way that he's used to telling a story.
Oh, I think it was a choice. I think it was a choice that he made to make his character more silent, to go with the character that everyone's familiar with.
Right. See, I feel like it could have potentially just been that being what he's used to, it just sort of unconsciously slipped through that the various set pieces that he uses are largely visual and physical.
No, definitely. Yeah. Well, like he wrote and produced this after Modern Times, a few years after that, so it would make sense. There has been some conversation about whether or not this is the character of the Tramp, but no, it is not meant to be. So that is not the case. But yeah,
I wasn't sure. So there you go. Well, it's good to know.
I mean, he certainly dresses very similarly.
I will say, like, out of all of the silent people's films, it was Chaplin. It was like Harry Lloydie and the other guy. What's his name?
Buster Keaton.
And Buster Keaton.
Buster K.
Out of all three of them,
Big K.
like, it makes sense that Charlie Chaplin is the one to make this movie, like to go to the sound era and make something this, I guess, poignant.
Yeah.
I don't know if it invented satire. It almost definitely did not, but it's one of the most important satire movies, I think. But yeah, like out of all of them, it's interesting how the other two really dropped off at this point. Buster Keaton was doing independent stuff mostly.
Yeah. They faded off. I mean, independent, like this was an independent film.
Yeah, but Chaplin was always making his own sort of stuff, whereas I think particularly Buster Keaton, he was dropped by whatever distributor he was working with at the time.
Yeah, he was a bit of a studio's plaything.
It's an interesting film. Interesting to think about, especially like where it starts, which I guess is spoilers, so I don't want to spoil it, but like the progression of this person's life through the situation they're put in, which is more of a comedy sort of thing. But right near the end, I think it really touches on some of the worser bits, like the actual war and stuff. And that actually, like, very much resonated with me right at the end. I was like, oh shit, this is fucked up. But I guess we'll get into it.
There's some moments as well that I thought were quite well done, where it's like the characters are acting in a slapstick way, but the events that are happening to them are they're just hate crimes. They're awful things that these people are doing to them, but it's all like, oh, I'm going to hit your head with a pan, boing!
Yeah.
But Ben, you said that it potentially didn't hit as well for you this time around. Why do you think that is? Are there like some particular moments or stuff that didn't work for you?
I thought it opened quite slowly.
Right.
Maybe my attention span has shortened in the intervening years, but I thought it didn't quite get to the good stuff quickly enough. And I mean, it's, the film's 2 hours long. I guess I was sort of expecting or remembering there to be more happening, maybe, or more of that poignancy, the juxtaposition.
That's fair.
Whereas, the few set pieces that there were really impressive, and the various gags were really good, but I kind of felt that they were a little bit few and far between for a film of this runtime.
Yeah, there was a lot of posturing by the dictator at the start, which could have just been cut out to get to the bit where the dictator's like invited someone.
I mean, even before that, like I wasn't sure that they really needed the First World War stuff.
Yeah, that just felt like a short that Chaplin made.
Yeah, it was really a short at the start.
It felt like it was like a revisit of his short Shoulder Arms, which, I don't know, it felt a little bit out of place. On the other hand, it was interesting the way that war was portrayed as kind of a little bit, slapstick hijinks versus the subsequent war, which was a lot more kind of grave and affecting all of humanity and sad, whereas this one kind of just felt a little bit caricaturish. I mean, the whole thing is a little bit cartoonish, but this one, this war with the opening with him like pulling the cannon, the missile trigger, and the upside down plane and stuff. It was it all felt like a little bit of a cartoon war.
Yes.
Versus the next war, which was like, oh no, this is real. So I kind of appreciated that, but I did think that it went too long.
Yeah, like you could have cut it just to the plane bit and like skip that whole first bit, and the movie would be the same. So I can certainly agree.
Yeah, you only really need to establish that he knows Schultz and then get out.
Yeah, but and I was thinking back on that, and I feel like even then, if he just came up to him and was like, and he just came up and was like, "Oh my God, that's you saved my life in the war," we would have been like, "Great, that's him. Okay, understood."
That's fair.
So I don't know, and the amnesia, like that felt completely. Like, I don't think they addressed it once after they introduced the fact that it was amnesia.
Well, this is all spoilers, right?
It's like the opening, so I guess maybe we should rate it and then okay.
Yeah, well, let's rate it and then get into it.
Okay, all right. Pause.
I think this is good though. I think it's good. In terms of the length, I almost feel like it could have been longer, or maybe more stuff should have been in it.
I think there should have been more. It didn't feel like, particularly with the double cast aspect of Chaplin playing the barber and the dictator.
Yeah.
I feel like there could have been so much more of a farce element happening with that. There's a really, really great film called To Be or Not to Be, which was made in 1942, so not too long after this one.
Okay.
And that's about a theater troupe in Poland. You know, Poland's just been invaded and they're trying to survive. And one of the actors looks like one of the generals.
Right.
And there's a lot more farce and there's a lot more kind of things happening, I guess. Whereas here, it's only right at the very end that the mistaken identity thing comes in. I think I was remembering that there was more of that. It really felt underused somehow. I don't know. Maybe, again, it's just like I'd had this kind of expectation from watching it years ago and this, obviously, the towering reputation.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like as well, you know, Charlie Chaplin could come up in the silent slapstick era where they didn't really write movies. They just came up with a set piece and then built a plot around it. Maybe that's what he did.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, like, it felt like there should have been more set pieces or whatever. Like, I didn't mind, you know, the plot, whatever. But if more was happening, then I kind of would have forgiven it.
What are you going to rate it then, Ben? Is it an oldie or is it a goodie?
Definitely. It's definitely still a goodie. For as much as I'm sort of being a little bit negative about it, it is, you know, it is a classic. It's also very accomplished. It's, you know, the moments where it hits, it really does hit. And yeah, it definitely a goodie.
Like even Chaplin said, he probably would have made it different and or not made it after the war. So clearly there is room for improvement. And I think that sort of adds and subtracts to the movie.
Right.
Where you have this movie that wasn't quite aware of itself with that sort of thing. So it was interesting. And I definitely liked the ending. The ending was, I think, the best part of the movie. I also thought it was weird that we only had the body swap at the very end. I thought that was also going to happen way earlier.
Well, I thought that they weren't going to address it, because at the start it's like they aren't meant to look the same. That's what it says at the start of the movie.
No.
But then they do. So I'm like, what are the rules, Charlie Chaplin? What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a time capsule in that kind of, you know, cusp of war era. Because when he was first writing and creating this film, I was reading that the UK was still on like fairly friendly terms with Nazi Germany, and so they didn't want to rock the boat, and so they didn't want to release it.
I mean, at the time of release, the US was as well.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
You know, by the time it came out, they were at war, so they were like, oh, great, you know, some propaganda, whatever. But
yeah. Well, isn't that ironic, though?
Well, yeah, absolutely. So, you know, in that regard, it's like it seems almost more relevant because it was kind of waking people up to things that were going on that perhaps governments were hoping that their citizens would ignore.
Yes.
Because they were, you know, politically meant to be on good terms with the country. And so, you know, Chaplin making this film being like, actually, hey, everyone, this guy's a maniac. Let's stop him. He is doing atrocious things to people, to your fellow people. Hello. In that regard, maybe, you know, it was necessary to be what it was.
Yeah, it definitely was a wake-up call for the general public as well. Plus, this movie did very, very well commercially.
Yeah, so I guess there was an appetite for it.
So I rate this anti-Hitler propaganda a goodie. It's pretty fantastic.
Excellent.
Hello, it's me. Hey, I, Sally McSet.
My gosh, that really hurts my darn tootin' throat. I've got an ad. Why, I bet you're also wondering if you're a robot just like me. Well, hey, wonder no more, because over on patreon.com/oldiebutygoodiepod, we've got the answers. And by answers, I mean a bonus episode reviewing Steven Spielberg's movie, AI Artificial Intelligence. Need more proof? I don't know, clip.
Big criticism, by the way. Why the fuck does he have an actual working mouth that he can dump spinach on his own circuits?
Yeah, there should be some sort of kill switch. Like, you put some food in there, he shuts down. Like, there should be something.
Or hear me out, he just doesn't have a fucking throat.
Yeah.
Just put a stopper. I get it. get a cork. Pop,
Yep.
done.
No, you're right. You're right. Maybe they didn't set him up properly. Maybe the parents just didn't read the manual. I don't know.
What?
Like, you don't leave this shit in your model because people are gonna fuck up and like act. Oh no, I accidentally gave him a Snickers bar. Now he's broken. You know, like, well, come on.
Yeah.
Wowee, that sounds so hilarious. I'm gonna self-destruct. I better go to patreon.com/oldiebutygoodie first and get that bonus episode. You can also get ad-free episodes of this here show, which is just the podcast you're listening to, but without me. That sounds amazing. Yeehaw! Alright, let's move on to some spoilers. So as I was mentioning, it opens during World War One. He finds Commander Schultz. There's that very Looney Tunes type sequence in an upside down airplane that does go on for too long, but I did think it was very funny. I was enjoying that a lot. I was not expecting this movie to open with basically just a World War One short, but it's pretty fun. But yeah, they crash. The barber has amnesia. He's in a hospital, 20 years later. He's still in a hospital. He's got amnesia. He thinks it's been a week since the end of World War One or something. But then, yeah, they don't address that for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, there's a little bit where he's like, I think they talk about the fact that this is why he doesn't think that there's much wrong with their living situation at the moment. And then when Schultz comes back, he's like, "Hey, do you remember me?" It's like, "No, I don't remember you." And then he's like, "Hey, no, you saved my life." It's like, "Oh, yeah, now it's convenient for me to not putting amnesia in the plot."
Did I watch a different film to you guys? He comes back and this whole barbershop is covered in web, and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" And then people put Jew on his shop, and he's like, "Why the fuck are you doing that?"
Yeah, but that's about it, right?
Yeah, well, then he spends this time, fighting stormtroopers because he doesn't know that they're the ones in charge now.
Yeah,
and then,
I suppose.
he has to be sort of, explained what's happened.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done a bit more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he does get mistaken for Hinkle earlier on, and then it is like, he's in office but doesn't know what to do. Oh no! Like that maybe could have been a better use of amnesia.
Yeah, they saw his photo and they were like, "Hang on."
I would have liked it if they both got amnesia, so neither one knew who the other. They were like, one of us is a dictator and one of us is a barber.
Oh my god! It's like the Spider-Man pointing meme, but they're doing something.
Yeah, well, yeah.
To be fair, there are I think I was also thinking of there's several films that have used this where two people are like, there's like a broken mirror and they pretend each person is the other person. But I think there's a Max Linder film that did it and Marx Brothers did it. But it kind of feels like the amnesia in that case was just a little device to get him to be shocked at what's happening with the world.
Yeah.
And I guess also get him to be quite hopeful as well.
Yeah, that too.
Maybe. But yeah, I want to know why, because the movie, it opens with any resemblance between the dictator and the barber is purely coincidental. So I was like, oh, they're not meant to look the same. But then they do.
I thought that was a joke.
Yeah, that was a joke. Sandro, this is a comedy film? I'm not sure if you realized.
No, this is a dark comedy. There are no jokes in dark comedy.
It's true. I thought it was just making fun of Hitler at the start of the film. Like, it opened with a, "Hey, Hitler, go fuck yourself" sort of situation. That's what I thought was going on.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the opening kind of set piece, which is okay. I thought it was a bit of fun, but I was also kind of waiting for the movie to start that whole time.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shame because it didn't seem to carry with it the spirit of the rest of the film.
I liked the slapstick stormtrooper shenanigans, though. That was pretty good.
Yeah, once it gets into the ghetto, then it kind of kicks off a bit more. But everything up to that point was a little bit take it or leave it, I think. And I know whatever, it's harsh.
Yeah, you're allowed to be nitpicky. You're allowed to not like things.
I don't want to be a contrarian or anything. I didn't it didn't match the tone or the message even potentially of the rest of the film. It seemed to be just purely really labored exposition.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, as someone who was writing silent movies where you literally have a wall of text to explain stuff, maybe maybe that's all he knew how to write.
It is very like modern movie where they're just explaining everything ad nauseum. And it's like, you didn't need to explain that. You could have just shown like a crash.
Or not even that. I just started in the ghetto, and then when the other guy turns up, it's like, oh, you saved my life in the war. And it's like, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say a plane crashes, then you cut immediately to the ghetto, and he's like got a bandage on his head, but he's in the ghetto.
Nah, irrelevant.
Yeah, I think it adds a bit of mystery. Like, what the fuck happened with that plane at the start, you know?
I mean, if they're gonna answer it, maybe.
Yeah.
If they'll, like, answer the mystery, maybe, I don't know.
I did like the dual, like the way that he characterized Hinkle and the barber were quite striking.
Yeah, the posture changes. It's quite good.
The manner and everything becomes suddenly a lot more fierce and egotistical. You know, the way he carries himself and the moves around even. It's just, yeah.
I love the dictator because he seems like a big child the whole time, which was great.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. The classic scene with him and totally not Mussolini just like arguing is just two kids having a tantrum.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And then like trying to show off to each other by who can put their barber's chair higher.
And the like mini chair he gave Mussolini to sit in, you know.
Oh yeah, the tiny chair.
To try and seem bigger.
The camera in this, just as an aside, it was really quite impressive. Quite a lyrical movements of the camera, particularly that opening sequence. You know, I didn't like it, but the camera was really fascinating to watch. Just the way it was tracking everything and following and zooming along. Yeah, I found some of the sequences in the Führer's or the whatever his parody name was,
Henkel
residence. Similarly, was just like following this grand trajectory. So yeah, I thought there was some really nice use of the camera in this.
Yeah, there's one where I think they're running down the street. It's Hitler has not Hitler. Hinkle has told the stormtroopers to stop harassing the Jews in the ghetto. And so they're all like out on the street. And then he's like, actually, never mind, over the loudspeaker. Everyone packs up and just like runs down the street. And we have like a tracking shot following them. That was very well done. And like it was like meant to be comedic because it's like, oh no, he fell over and there was a boing sound effect. But you're still like, no, fucking run. Like, holy shit, you need to get inside right now.
Yeah, a lot of the juxtaposition of the horror of the situation with the kind of lightheartedness of the... You know,
like where they're gonna lynch Chaplin?
Oh yeah.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, like it's played for a joke, but fucking hell yeah.
Yeah, that was dark.
Yeah, and the chase in the rooftops, and even just like the way that the tides turn and everything. It's really like it's brutal, but it's so engaging and it's kind of shocking in a good way how I mean, I guess it makes it more riveting almost because the irony just becomes so much more tangible when he's running around like a clueless, you know, like his character,
like a headless chicken
that we know and love from all of the silent films, etc. You know, the thing that he's built up his career on, and then suddenly in the background, it's like, oh, actually, he's running away because he's a Jew and they're gonna kill him, and they're gonna kill all Jews, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was pretty dark. I did have a question. What did you think of the female lead, Ben and Sandra, I guess? But I don't care about Sandra, so...
Yeah, I mean, she's great, Paulette Goddard. She was in Modern Times as well.
Yeah, they were married at the time, I think.
Yeah, at the time, they sort of between Modern Times and The Great Dictator was kind of when they were married. And yeah, I mean, she's incredibly charismatic. a very kind of youthful exuberance, which works really well both in the scenes of, you know, the romantic scenes, but also when she throws stuff at Nazis.
Yeah. She fucking hits them with a fucking pan like a bam.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That was great.
And you know, and then adds quite a lot of pathos and defiance.
Yeah.
I liked when she was being all sassy to them. Like, what are you gonna do? Come down and fucking fight me? Oh yeah, attack woman, why don't you, you big man? You know, I was like, oh yeah, you tell them.
Yeah, but then, you know, the dramatic turns of, you know, the scene where she goes and buys potatoes, and then just before we've heard that Hinkle is ceasing the persecution of the Jews for the moment, and the stormtroopers, like, she falls over and the stormtroopers help her up and like pick up her potatoes for her, and just the shock of that. I thought she played that beautifully.
Yeah.
So all of the moments of emotion and drama were added, really, really well alongside her sort of. It's almost, she's like a female tramp.
Yeah, no, definitely.
You know, in the way that she kind of skips about and runs about.
Yeah, no, she matched his energy pretty well. There was one joke with her that I did write down that I wanted to bring up, which was the classic, like, oh no, she's talking and he can't get a bloody word in edgewise. Oh, women. I was like, oh my God, Charlie Chaplin.
Which one? Where was that?
It was like when they went on a date, I think.
Oh, right. I mean, yeah, Chaplin did not have a great reputation with women.
Speaking of dictators, haha, oh no.
He was a bloody dictator on set. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Zach, what did you think of how whenever Hinkle is doing a speech, it's just vaguely German gibberish?
German gibberish.
Yeah.
That people can understand, even though he's talking English for the rest of it, which is great.
It's very silly, although is it mocking a dictator or mocking the German language? I'm not sure.
There's a recycle of the coughing gag, which I was really disappointed by.
Oh, right,
Because the opening speech that he gives, he's angry and doing all these fake German sounds and German words. And then he, like, bursts into a coughing fit halfway through, to kind of, the joke is that German sounds like you're coughing. But then he reuses the same joke later on, and I thought that was a bit lazy. I thought it was funny, though. I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny.
You had very high standards for this movie, and it didn't quite meet them for you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting more from Charles Chaplin.
Oh shit, he used his full name. He's in trouble now.
Full legal name.
Yeah, he's in trouble now. Sir Charles Spencer Chaplin.
Oh my goodness.
Get down here right now, and you are going to write new jokes to put in between here.
You're going to stop using the same joke twice in a film without heightening. You at least heighten it. You know the rules of comedy. Do it again, but heighten it.
It's true.
Absolutely.
Or do it a third time and subvert it. Anyway.
Exactly. I've got a couple other set pieces to mention. The very famous dance sequence with the balloon.
Oh, yes.
The globe, yeah.
That was quite fun.
I mean, again, to your point of he was acting like a child. This is a kid with a toy, This is the way that Hitler was, using the world as his plaything to kind of take it back to a very real metaphor, but the way it's represented in the film as this almost like graceful, delicate, joyous romp. I mean, it was scary.
Yeah. Oh no, but he squeezed too hard and the world exploded. Uh-oh.
Prophetic.
There were two jokes where like someone was trying to invent something, but it like the bulletproof uniform and the parachute hat, and then they both ended up dying, and it's like, okay, and
I was waiting for the third one, right? Rules of 3.
Yeah.
I thought the third one was they were like, we invented this new gas that'll kill people. Like, that's a line after the two inventions, but then they don't do a joke with that.
I thought it was going to be like Henkel uses an invention to try and, like, escape something or something, and then that fails on him as well, and that's what gets his comeuppance.
And he
or something
shoots
like
himself in the head.
that. You're thinking of a different one. You're thinking of a different dictator, not Henkel. You're thinking of the other one.
Yeah, I think the gas thing, it didn't read to me as a continuation of that joke. It just read to me as like a reference to the gas. But I could be wrong.
I can't remember which sequence it takes place in, if it's the same sequence there. Oh, we never get, there's the joke as well where, like, he's only got a few seconds to stand in front of, like, a painter.
Oh, yeah.
And someone making his bust as well.
I thought that was really funny, but again, it was kind of a throwaway.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it's like it came back to it twice, I think there was a lot of 2s in this.
Yes, not 3s. He could have come in at the last second, or someone else comes in and they start painting and they go, oh, crap, we've messed it up, like Mussolini just bursts in. And so then we get like a half Mussolini, half Hitler.
Because there was, I really enjoyed when he had this like filing cabinet behind him and then he opened it up and it was actually just mirrored so he could look at his own reflection.
Yeah, that was good.
That was quite funny, and it was like we only got that once because we didn't need it more than once. And I was wondering, like, maybe there should have been more of these little throwaways rather than trying to do the same joke twice and never going anywhere. I don't know.
Yeah. The painter joke would have been good if they only did that once. The coughing joke would have been better if they only did it once.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Either do it once or thrice.
Yeah. Instead of coming back to it, there should have been a fresh new joke. Yeah, I get you.
Maybe Chaplin just didn't get talking comedy as well. Like, there were moments in here where there's a scene right at the start in the airplane where they're like upside down and the guy's like, oh, the blood's returning to my head because he's upside down, and they're like, how's the plane's gas? Oh, terrible, keeps me up all night. I'm like, is Charlie just ripping off Marx Brothers? Is that what he's doing right now? I kind of feel like he maybe looked at the comedy landscape and was like, people like repeating jokes, I'll put that in there, but didn't understand that you've got to heighten it every time. I don't know.
No, but I mean, I don't think so, because all of the jokes that we're citing that he didn't heighten were all visual gags, so I'm sure he knew what he was doing. The gas joke was funny.
Yeah. What's the gas situation? Oh, it keeps me up all night. Yeah. No, that was funny.
The barber sequence?
Oh, yeah, that was a great gag. That was a great one-off gag.
The barber bit where he's shaving the guy in time with the music. That was a wonderful set piece.
Yeah.
The little joke with the kid coming in and then going like, he's still shaving the bald man's head.
Yeah. He's polishing the guy's head. I liked the set piece where Schultz is helping them out. He's in the basement and he's like, all right, one of you is going to be a martyr. One of you is going to blow up the palace.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever has a nickel in their pudding is the one to do it. And they're all finding nickels in their pudding.
Yeah. They all have a coin in their pudding, so they're like trying to all hide it in different ways. Yeah, that was quite good.
I thought that was an example of I think, Sandra, you were referring earlier to kind of these wacky hijinks. Happening with really dark material. Philip Pullman as an example of that, where it's like this is a very grave fate. This is an extremely serious, somber occasion, but it's being played for laughs almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of like dancing on the edge of, can we laugh about it? Yeah, we can, because it's still these people's fates, but it's funny. But it's almost like it's exhilarating. It's like it adds to the tension, which itself, maybe that's a separate question, is like can you play with people's lives like that? But I think it's, extra effect. It's kind of, I think the fact that it's being used for comedy rather than necessarily, like, it's being used for drama as well, but, it's not like the Schindler's List thing where it's like every tragedy is just being milked for emotion and tension.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to make something funny and enjoyable out of a dark thing. You're creating happiness where there was sort of despair and hopelessness.
For sure.
So I think that's a good net positive for the world.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's The question is whether you can turn this into like whether it's using it for entertainment purposes or whether it's adding the entertainment to it. But that's a separate question. I don't know that we need to get into it.
I think it's also case by case. Like, obviously, we all hate Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor.
Got him.
But
well, not if you're a dad testing his home sound system.
That's true.
Then you love Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor, but just the bomb dropping scene.
I don't think I've got too much else to mention. Oh, there's a funny joke where they're showing each other where Hinkle is showing Mussolini the army. We're just going to call him Mussolini. And there's that great scene where you think one of them is talking quietly, and Hinkle's like, "Wait, what did you say?" And he's like, "Nothing. I was just chewing." I was like, "Ha ha ha."
The mustard thing I didn't think was really funny.
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening in that scene.
The joke was that he was trying to. They were trying to. I mean, they were fighting about the treaty.
Yeah.
At the buffet at the food table, and instead of like one of them had a sandwich and he wanted to put mustard on his sandwich. The other one had strawberries and he wanted to put cream on it.
So one ate a sandwich with cream in it and one had mustard. That's what.
No, I think so Hinkle, who had the strawberries, wanted the cream, accidentally put the mustard on it because they were arguing and he didn't notice. And then he was like, "Oh my god, this is so hot!
Yeah.
I can't deal with this."
Makes
but
sense.
then Mussolini, who also wanted, Napoloni, who also wanted the mustard in the first place, then also eats the mustard, and it's too hot for him too.
Yeah, that's the bit that confuses me. I thought, now thinking about it, now that he put the cream on it, and so it was like he was eating sweet cream, and he was like, no, sweet cream. Oh no, that is a weird.
No, it was mustard. I will say I really enjoyed the concept of them fighting over the food, over the treaty. That was quite well executed. Again, just like this completely absurd scenario dealing with something so heavy.
Really showing the like childishness of both the characters, where they're just like, no, you do it. No, you do it.
Well, yeah, they're just like they're trying to show off to each other, like even at the very start where they're like trying to take a picture and trying to see who can be in front.
I did like the visual comedy of the military show where we didn't see any of the military, that they just filmed like a crowd with the dictators and stuff in the middle watching these things go by. And like when the planes are there, they follow the plane with their eyes, and you just see it go loop-de-loop and then smash down.
And crash.
Yeah,
classic.
All of the interactions I thought between Hinkle and Napoloni were there was a lot of chemistry between the two performers. I think also the pacing of it kind of lit up really when the two of them were on screen. Even the really simple thing of them trying to salute each other.
And then he tries to grab his hand, and then he tries to salute, and then he tries to grab his hand, and then he tries to salute.
That's definitely some of the best stuff in the movie, is just those two. Yeah. Jack Oakley is the other guy's name.
Who was, they were both nominated for Oscars for their performances.
Fantastic.
So at some point, Schultz and the barber are thrown into a camp, and then they just escape. I kind of would have maybe liked to see that.
See the escape. Well, yeah, but again, it's like because we already saw them trying to escape the ghetto on the rooftops and stuff. Maybe that would have been. Maybe he very wisely didn't want to include a rehash of previous material.
That's true. It's true. I don't know. I just really like Hogan's Heroes, so I was like, Charlie Chaplin, Hogan's Heroes time.
We did have a gag where there was like the thinker, but it's saluting, and some other famous art as well.
Oh, yeah. All around Germany, there's like a giant clock with Hitler holding it, and not Hitler with Hinkle, and all the statues have been like edited.
And it was 2 minutes slow. And then we have guys escaping in military uniforms.
Yeah, so then they get mistaken to be a part of the invasion. They arrive on the frontier because the whole movie, Hinkle's been trying to invade France. I mean,
Austria.
I mean,
not France. No.
The thing that they're not, it's not France. It's not Austria.
Yes. this scene, well, not this scene specifically, but the scene of like the tank showing up and the troop showing up and the previous characters, like the female lead and the other Jewish people who had escaped Germany, who were then once again attacked by troopers. That bit really hit me very hard. That was a bit of a, like, oh shit, this is real. Because it was people that had escaped these atrocities to live a peaceful life that once again had to relive that horror. And I was a bit like, wow. And then, of course, that leads into the big speech at the end of the film, which I thought really definitely hammered it home. And I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, which that speech feels like it's just Chaplin talking.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, he's addressing the camera, right? He's barreling the lens and he's telling us what's what.
He's saying it like it is. He's just a regular Joe Rogan over here.
I think, and again, maybe it's because like it's a monumental speech and it's so impassioned. But I do wonder if it would have had more impact if there was more. It was almost like there was more stakes. Like it didn't feel like there was much stakes apart from the destruction of the human race or the Jewish race. I feel like that mix up in identities where Hinkle was duck shooting and then got captured. It's like that. Okay, it felt really underwhelming, and then they sort of lead him up to the barber up to the platform to make the speech, and then it's like, well, we didn't get like I almost feel like that's where the film starts,
Yeah, I would have liked that to have caused them to back out, right? And that's the end of the movie, and the whole swap thing is a part of this grand ending bit, which is why they save it all the way to the end instead of using it earlier.
Yeah. It just felt undercooked in that regard. Despite the passion and despite the fervor of the plea,
I think potentially if they kept going in that direction, though, like this film, for the most part, is incredibly respectful to what was actually happening at the time. I think if they did go that, maybe the idea was that it would be like an alternate history sort of timeline thing, and they're like, that's not respectful, which might have been the thinking. I don't know.
I don't even necessarily need to see like them, the retreat or anything, but I feel like the mistaken identity thing, like, it seems such a wasted opportunity.
It's still a pretty good ending, and then like Hannah like hears it over the radio and is like, "Have everyone come and have a listen," and that's the end. It just fades to black.
Yeah, it's a beautiful moment.
It's a great speech. It's a good speech. So I thought the ending was good. Unlike Ben, who hated the film.
Yeah, I hated the film. 4 stars.
Yeah. 4 stars.
No, I love the part where he turned to the camera and started talking about how much he loves communism. That was my favorite moment in the ending speech, where Charlie Chaplin was like, and that's why Buster Keaton was wrong about my opinions on communism.
Yeah.
Buster Keaton was a Confederate scum. Harold Lloyd was a massive racist. I'm the only good one. Don't look at my treatment of women.
Yeah, don't ask my wife, though.
We're not talking about sexism here. We're talking about racism, and on that front, I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm doing all right there.
I'm not even a Jew.
All right, that is the movie. Let's do a remake. I don't think we should remake this. I don't think there's any reason to, but...
Well, we could do what Ben said and just improve the jokes a bit. Cut out the ones that weren't needed and tighten it all up and then re-release it. There you go.
Okay.
Boom.
Just a re-edited version.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 40 minutes long.
40 minutes
Yep.
long. All right. So a remake of The Great Dictator. This is going to be interesting. Ben, we were talking briefly about this earlier. You said it could be a good idea to get someone to play both Hinkle, the barber, as well as write, direct, produce it, etc.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone in mind?
How about a film about a great dictator, and it's starring Sacha Baron Cohen?
Oh, no.
I don't know. Sacha Baron Cohen could potentially be a good fit for it. I mean, who writes and directs their own? I don't know. Bill Hader. He has none of this energy. In terms of people who write, I don't know. Jordan Peele. There's not really that many people who are like writing, directing, and starring in their own films anymore.
Like Taika Waititi would play Hitler in
No,
Jojo Rabbit.
no, it'd be... Well,
But he's already done it.
and it was bad.
That was good. I liked it.
It was really insulting. I didn't like it.
I think that it's unfortunate because I actually liked a lot of his older movies.
He would make sense if he hadn't already done it and sucked.
Yeah.
He would definitely make sense.
I mean, I like that movie, and I don't think that he should do that again and make this film. So,
Okay, what about Nick Kroll? Just purely judging by the fact that I've recently been watching History of the World Part 2.
Yeah, he could do it.
I can see that. It would be a different, like, the thing is, it's going to be a different sort of comedy no matter what, because we're making it now.
What about Eric Andre?
Eric Andre would be quite funny as...
It also, I think it's, it's 2023, it may as well be a Jew.
Oh, absolutely.
So if it's not Saoirse Baron Cohen, if it's not Nick Kroll, let's do Eric Andre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see him taking this on. Is it then recorded in public without people knowing?
Yeah.
Are we going down that route?
Oh
Yeah, there we go. It's a combination of Bad Trip and
Borat.
and Borat, and there was a film. I haven't seen it, but it was made in Germany. It was called Look Who's Back.
I've seen the first bit. I had to turn it off because I was really tired, but I want to go back to it. Yeah. Look Who's Back, which is basically a guy pretending to be Hitler walking around the modern day, and like no one's aware that it's a movie, and just seeing people try and interact with this guy.
Yeah. So I think yeah, we got it. I think we got it. Eric Andre.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a part prank. It's a part prank film remake of The Great Dictator.
Yeah.
And he still plays both roles as well.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
I mean, he has to, right? That's part of the appeal of it.
Oh, absolutely.
He still plays both roles.
Well, then why don't we get Sacha Baron Cohen to play the Mussolini character? Because then he can just be doing the same thing, but it's Mussolini.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Done. I mean, it's either Sacha Baron Cohen or like John Candy, and John Candy is dead.
Yeah. Who's some characters that you'd like to recast, Zach?
The female lead, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know who.
What if it's who played the lead in Bad Trip? Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish. Yeah.
Just like bringing their team back together.
Yeah, that could work.
I like that idea as Hannah. So we're not really bringing any of the plot over. We're just kind of making our little dream team of funny people.
I think part of it, part of it is that the plot will be acted out, but via like prank.
Yeah.
Who's some other characters that we could recast? I mean, Schultz is a big one. Commander Schultz. Could recast him. I mean, maybe Bill Hader is Schultz.
I don't think Bill Hader, he was only ever mentioned because he writes and directs. I don't think we need Bill Hader.
I like Bill Hader, but that's fair enough.
You've put him in enough film. Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito as Mussolini.
No, Danny DeVito as the Minister of War character.
No, I think Danny DeVito as Mussolini and Sacha Baron Cohen as Schultz. If you're putting Danny DeVito in everything,
But we haven't put Danny DeVito. We didn't even talk about Danny DeVito once last week, which I think we deserve a medal for. To be honest,
We deserve a little DeVito.
Absolutely.
What if Sacha Baron Cohen is Schultz, and then for Herring we get Josh Gad?
no, that's boring.
That is pretty boring.
Who are we casting right now?
For Herring, the Minister of War.
Oh, the Minister of War. What about Big Nasty? He's a UK rapper, comedian. I think he's funny. He'd be good for the role.
Big Nasty. And they're all just running around in public yelling at people. That's the whole movie.
Yeah. So hang on. So who do we have for Napoloni?
For Napoloni is Danny DeVito.
No. That's a gag. I think we got to have someone else for that.
Gotta have Sacha Baron Cohen as Napoloni.
No, Sacha Baron Cohen as Schultz.
Okay. Zach, who plays Napoloni? Who's Mussolini? Just give me a name.
We could put Nick Kroll on stilts. And that could be his thing.
That's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny, actually. Yeah, all right. Nick Kroll in stilts.
But make sure you preference it underneath on stilts.
Well, that's our remake of The Great Dictator. Nothing will come of that. Anyway, that's the episode. Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
So is Eric Andre directing it as well? Because he doesn't usually direct his stuff. You need to get the director of his stuff.
All right. Who's the director then?
I think he's usually directed by Kitao Sakurai. And he directed Bad Trip as well.
Okay, yeah, excellent. That'd be good. Well, there we go. That is our remake right there. Thank you so much for joining Thank you so much for fuck, Ben.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming on the show again, Benjamin Volchok. You have got a new monthly show happening at the Motley Bauhaus. Tell us all about it.
It's I'm doing a monthly version of the show I did in Adelaide Fringe Festival. It's called The Ceremony. It's a group therapy sermon comedy show. It's different every time based on what the audience gives me. And I conduct some kind of a ceremony. And it's cool, and it's not a cult.
Not a cult.
Yeah. Oh.
I saw it once in Adelaide. It is not a cult. This is true.
That's something a cultist and a lackey would say.
Don't know what you're talking about. It's May 31st and June 28th for now. I'll be adding more dates after that. It's at the Motley Bauhaus. You can hop on my website or the Motley Bauhaus website to find tickets. Come along. It's going to change your life.
You can follow the show as well on all the socials. Link in the episode description to Instagram, to Facebook. Thanks to everyone who leaves us reviews on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Helps get new listeners on our show and gets us closer and closer to making the remakes that we actually want to make. Because we're going to make some of them. That's right, we're going to make some of them.
That's news to me.
We will make them.
Far out. This is where all our Patreon money is going. God damn it.
That is where all the Patreon money is going. And you can put money towards that by heading over to patreon.com/oldiebuddiegoodiepod. Everyone over there is amazing. They're keeping the lights on the show, the lights on in the studio. You can head over there, get ad-free episodes, plus get some bonus content, like the episode on Steven Spielberg's AI is out right now.
AI.
You can go check that one out. Have you seen the movie AI, Ben?
No.
Well, if you like weird Pinocchio allegories that are like 3 different movies in one because of the tone changes, then you might like that movie.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, that sounds like something I might be interested in. Who did you say directed that again?
It's directed by Steven Spielberg.
No, never mind.
Wow.
Got him.
That's all the stuff and things. Zach, I gotta pick the next one.
Yeah, what movie were you thinking of looking at for 1941?
1941.
1941.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
It's a big year because Dumbo was released. Now, boys, I hate Dumbo. I think Dumbo is a terrible movie.
Oh, that's shocking.
You think it's dumb?
Bo?
I think it is a bad movie, and people who like it are just sad. Wow. You just like sad things.
Wow.
That was one of the only Disney films I ever saw as a kid.
No wonder you don't like Disney films.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like for there's some very strong films in 1941, but also there's the very obvious contender.
Which one?
Bob Hope and Bing Crosby and Road to Zanzibar, of course.
No. Road to Zanzibar, that's my favorite.
Zanzibar.
No, I mean, look, you could go The Maltese Falcon. You could go Ball of Fire or The Lady Eve or Sullivan's Travels. You could go The Wolfman. You could go High Sierra. There's a million... Hell's a poppin' if you want a left field choice. But, I mean, of course... It's gotta be Citizen Kane. I mean...
No, look, it's a good movie, but I don't want to be a guy who talks about Citizen Kane on the internet.
Yeah, you don't want to be, but you're gonna be because there's nothing else really.
There's so many other things. The Maltese Falcon does look pretty good. Zach, is there anything here that pops out to you?
No, Ben named them all. Actually, the Citizen Kane movie
I'm not doing Citizen Kane. I'm not picking Citizen... It's all
You
bad.
gotta do Citizen Kane.
It's a 5 out of 5 movie, but I don't care. I'm a man on the internet. I don't want to talk about Citizen Kane. No, what I'm going to pick, boys, is something that neither of you have mentioned.
What?
What are you going to pick? How Green Was My Valley?
No, I'm going to pick a movie by Abbott and Costello because I want to do a comedy horror film that is the complete opposite of what Citizen Kane is. I'm picking Hold That Ghost, where they've got to spend...
You're picking Hold That
time,
Ghost.
Where they've got to spend time in a haunted mansion. We're doing Hold That Ghost
You're
by
not.
Abbott and Costello. Because, yes, we are. I'm picking Hold That Ghost by Abbott and Costello.
Why did you pick this film?
Because
What is
I want to
this?
do an Abbott and Costello movie because I liked them when I was 5 and I want to see if they're still good and I don't want to do Citizen Kane and I could pick the Maltese Falcon but it's funnier if I pick Hold That Ghost.
So dumb. All right, we're doing Hold That Ghost.
Anything for the bit, huh?
Next week we're doing Hold That Ghost. Zach, you got to skirt out of that body. I'm going to shoot Ben so that the orphan comes back.
All right.
Who are you? Where are you?
Oh, he's forgotten again.
What's going on?
Have you got amnesia, young orphan?
I feel like every time I go through a traumatic event, my memory just fades.
Oh.
I feel like that's a plot device that we won't use later on at all. It'll just be for explaining like one or two things, and then we'll just forget about it for the rest of the movie.
Forget about it? That sounds like something that I could know a thing or two about.
Hey, young kid, can you give me bread and I'll teach you a swear word?
Oh, now that sounds familiar. Yeah, what kind of bread would you like? Would you like seeded, unseeded, rye? Would you like whole grain? Would you like wholemeal? Would you like half meal? Would you like quarter meal? Would you like tiny? Would you like big? Would you like sourdough? Would you like sweet dough? Would you like bitter dough? Would you like umami dough? Would you like a glass of water in the shape of bread?
Just give me that rye bread right there. I'm going to teach you a swear word.
All right, here you go. That will be one swear word, please.
All right, here's the swear word. Motherfucker.
Oh, that's a good one. I've never heard that one before. I wonder why. What does it mean?
It means someone who fucks your mother.
Oh.
Yes.
I don't have one of those, so that makes it not a very funny swear word.
Hey, Percy Spencer, let's point at this kid and laugh.
You C-sections!